Gregg Evans takes a look at the big talking points after Aston Villa secure their place in the playoff final. Big game team. There were question marks over this bunch. Big question marks. How does a team that bottled it against QPR and Norwich to throw away a real shot at automatic promotion, emerge through a tough semi-final with Middlesbrough, managed by a master of grinding out results? Well, by showing that they do have the fight, courage and determination to succeed. This was no classic by any means, but it didn't need to be. Villa simply had to get the job done. A win or draw was all they needed, and in the end the latter was enough. The big-name players turned up and proved that experience really does count. Been there, done it. Take a look down that Villa starting 11 and there was experience running through it. The two central midfielders, Mile Jedinak and Conor Aurihane, have both captained former sides to playoff glory in the past. John Terry's record of winning big games and trophies speak for itself. Then you've got Lewis Grabban, who's heading for his 5th Wembley final. Albert Adomah has won promotion in the past, ironically with Middlesbrough. And Robert Snodgrass and James Chester both helped Hull City to promotion via the playoffs under Bruce's management. There's a real sense that this is Villa's year. They've certainly got all the ingredients to get the job done. Sell-out crowd to a man, they were all fantastic, said Steve Bruce when he spoke about the Villa fans. Over 40,000 packed into Villa Park and the home fans revved up an incredible atmosphere. There was a time early in the first half when Boro were coming on strong. Villa were starting to feel the pressure and the visitors had a couple of half chances by the 50th minute. There was a sense that the tide was starting to turn. But a real rallying cry from the entire ground lifted the team. The noise from the whole end echoed around the whole ground and kicked the quieter sections into life. That support helped Villa over the line, and the celebrations that followed felt like a release after years of pain. So when fans poured onto the pitch and jumped for joy, it was understandable. The Claret and Blue faithful have been hit hard by relegation from the top flight and a struggle to return. But it feels like promotion is on the cards now. Villa are 90 minutes away from the Premier League. The next 10 days will be enjoyable and the feel-good factor will certainly stick around until, at least, May 26th. Adomah still has no end product. One final word on Middlesbrough, and it has to go to the former winger, Adama Traoré. Villa let him leave because he never really cut it at the club. In the Premier League he couldn't get a regular starting berth because he couldn't be trusted. Too selfish, no end product, can't stick to shape. Those were the main gripes. Granted, he's improved his all-round game a lot. He tracks back, occasionally, and doesn't go alone as much as he once used to. But over 2 legs in this semi-final he hardly caused a problem. Alan Hutton had him in his back pocket in the first leg, and the second leg wasn't much different. After all the pre-match hype, he was well and truly dealt with. More Villa news. Aston Villa were relishing the prospect of another trip to Wembley after seeing off Middlesbrough over 2 legs with a goalless draw at Villa Park on Tuesday evening. The Claret and Blues are now preparing to meet with Fulham in the playoff final on Saturday week for the final coveted spot in next season's Premier League, and the sizable pot of money that goes with it. The Villa faithful, of whom more than 40,000 were in attendance at B6 on Tuesday, revelled in the victory over the course of the tie and were quick to point out certain individuals for their displays. There were mentions for James Bree, who filled the void at right back, and Conor Aurihane. The two names that cropped up more than most, though, were Alan Hutton and Mile Jedinak. The former reinvented himself at left back and shut off the threat of Adama Traore, while the latter scored the decisive goal and remained the calm head and midfielder over the 180 minutes. Many supporters also criticized those who invaded the pitch to join in the celebrations with the players after the final whistle. This is how Steve Bruce summed up Aston Villa booking their place at Wembley. Below is the flavour of the fan reaction from Tuesday's win. Paul Munnelly only watched the last half hour. The man is a beast. Liam Reedy, Alan Hutton is such a hero. Keeps perhaps the most dangerous player in the league quiet for 2 games. Big shout to Conor Aurihane and Robert Snodgrass for their massive efforts tonight, too. Daspo's, massive shame the fans spoilt it. Running on, kind of ruined the celebrations, but we're off to Wembley so let's be happy. UTV Alexander XW, massive shout to Jedinak and Hutton. 2 big performances from both in each playoff game. Warren Free, Alan Hutton deserves a contract no matter what happens. That man was immense those 2 games. That man must bleed claret and blue. Especially what he endured a few years ago. Greg Whitehouse, call me boring, dour, negative, pessimistic etc., but we haven't won anything yet with the most expensive assembled championship squad ever, so there is hardly anything to shout about. Anything less than promotion is a failure this season. A sad day for Aston Villa ends on a high note as Wembley awaits Aston Villa. Yet again Hutton and Jedinak were outstanding. The left side would have been nice to applaud the players for their efforts tonight. Shame the few ruined it. In 8 years Alan Hutton's gone from the bomb squad to one of the most loved Villa players. Ben Hutton handled Adama. Let's hope he can handle Sessegnon. Cormac Joyce thought Jedinak was incredible tonight. What a win. Lee Bickerton, Jedinak was superb tonight, won everything in the air and some great tackles too. Special mentions to Hutton and Aurihane too. Saying the pitch invasion robbed us of the chance to celebrate with the players. Mr. P. Jedi man of the tie. Hutton did well. Bree settled into the game. Conor selfless today. CBs did. Jack Albert and Snoddy all in and out of the game, but did what they had to. Grab and fed off scraps but worked hard. Mike Dean, well less said the better. Pulis admission. Tony Pulis has conceded that justice was done after Aston Villa dumped his Middlesbrough side out of the race for promotion. A first-leg goal from Mile Jedinak at the Riverside was enough to send Steve Bruce's Claret and Blues to Wembley following a stalemate second leg at Villa Park. And Pulis admits the 2 teams who will contest the final at Wembley a week on Saturday, Fulham and Aston Villa, are worthy finalists, having finished 3rd and 4th respectively. Pulis said, over the 2 games I think there's been periods where we've been on top and dominant, and in those periods we've not created the opportunities and the chances to win games. People will say over the 2 legs it's a set piece that's been the difference between us. Fighting over Hutton. Fair play to Fulham and Aston Villa. It was a night of few chances, with both teams reluctant to show their hand until the clock ticked past 70 minutes. Boro's best opportunity came at the death as confusion in the Villa defence allowed Adama Traore to lob an effort towards goal which Sam Johnston handled outside his area. The goalkeeper was booked by referee Mike Dean and Stuart Downing's resulting free kick slammed against the crossbar. Pulis, though, reckons Johnston should have been dismissed for his misdemeanor. "You write what you want to write," he said. "I think it's a disappointing decision from one of our top officials.